When you look at how 50 Cent handles his shows, one thing becomes very clear: he doesn't think small. From the very beginning of Power, the storytelling was always layered. Every character had a past, every decision had a reason, and every moment felt like it was leading somewhere bigger. This is important because it tells us something about how he builds stories. He doesn't rush. He stretches things out so the audience can feel every step of the journey. That's exactly why the idea of Power Origins having 5 seasons actually makes sense. Now think about the way he drops hints. He rarely says things directly. Instead, he gives small clues, sometimes in interviews, sometimes in captions, and sometimes just in the way he talks about building a universe. That word universe is key. A universe is not something you build in 1 or 2 seasons. It takes time, it takes layers, and most importantly, it needs a strong foundation. Power Origins feels like that foundation. It's the story that explains everything that came before. And if you want to explain everything properly, you can't do it in a short run. Another thing people overlook is how consistent his strategy has been. Look at shows like Raising Kanan. It didn't rush into big moments right away. It slowly built the character, showed his environment, his struggles, and his growth. That same slow burn style is exactly what Origins will need, especially if it focuses on younger versions of key characters. You can't just jump from nothing to power overnight. The audience needs to see how it all started: the mistakes, the first wins, the first betrayals. That kind of storytelling needs space, and 5 seasons gives it that space. There's also a pattern in how long his stories last. He likes to give each chapter enough time to breathe, but not drag it too much. 5 seasons is actually a perfect number for that. It's long enough to tell a full story, but not too long to lose focus. And when you think about a character like James St. Patrick, his journey from a young hustler to a powerful figure is not something that can be told quickly. It needs detail, it needs emotional depth, and most of all, it needs time. So when fans hear small hints from 50 Cent and brush them off, they might be missing the bigger picture. Because when you connect his past projects, his storytelling style, and his way of planning long term, it starts to look less like a guess and more like a strategy that has already been used before, a strategy that works, and a strategy that could easily mean Power Origins is already planned as a 5-season story, even if no one has officially said it yet. When you step back and really study how the Power universe has grown over time, it becomes clear that this is not just a collection of random shows. It is a carefully built system where every story connects to another. It all started with Power, which introduced the world to crime, loyalty, and ambition through a very tight and focused storyline. But instead of ending everything there, the universe expanded in different directions, and each new show added another layer to the bigger picture. First came spin-offs that moved forward in time, like Power Book 2, Ghost, which continued the story after the original ended. Then came shows that explored different characters in different locations, like Power Book 4, Force. And then there was a major shift going backward in time with Power Book 3, Raising Kanan. That move alone tells you something important. Instead of only pushing the story forward, the creators wanted to explore the past, to show how everything really began. That's where Power Origins fits perfectly. It is not just another spin-off. It fills the biggest gap in the timeline, the early life of the most important characters. Fans have always wanted to know how everything started, especially when it comes to James St. Patrick and Tommy Egan. Their friendship, their rise, and the choices they made are at the center of the entire universe. But until now, that part of the story has only been mentioned, never fully shown. This is why the expansion strategy matters so much. Each show in the universe is designed to cover a different piece of the puzzle. One show shows the future, another shows a side story, and another goes into the past. When you look at it like that, Origins becomes one of the most important pieces. It connects everything. It explains motivations. It shows where the mindset of these characters really comes from. And that kind of story cannot be rushed, because if you rush it, the entire foundation becomes weak. Another important detail is how the timeline is being stretched across multiple shows at the same time. While one series moves forward, another explores events from years before. This creates a layered experience where fans can see cause and effect from different angles. For example, something small in the past might explain a big decision in the future. This kind of storytelling only works when each part is given enough time to develop properly. If Power Origins were only 1 or 2 seasons, it would feel incomplete. It would skip important moments, rush character growth, and miss the emotional depth that the franchise is known for. But if it follows the same pattern as other shows in the universe, it will take its time. It will slowly build the world, introduce key relationships, and show how power is earned step by step. That slow build is exactly what keeps viewers connected, because they are not just watching events, they are experiencing the journey. There is also a business side to this strategy. Expanding a universe like this keeps the audience engaged for a long time, instead of ending one story and starting something completely new. The creators keep adding chapters to the same world. This makes fans more invested, because every new show feels connected to something they already care about. And Origins has the advantage of focusing on characters that fans already love, which makes it even stronger. So when you connect all of this together, the forward timelines, the backward storytelling, the focus on character depth, and the long-term planning, it becomes very clear that Power Origins is not meant to be short. It is designed to be a major part of the universe, a part that takes its time, builds slowly, and delivers a full story from beginning to end. And when a story is this important, stretching it across multiple seasons is not just an option, it's almost necessary. When you really listen closely to the theme song Big Rich Town, it starts to feel less like just music and more like a hidden message that has been there from the very beginning. Created by 50 Cent and Joe, the song doesn't just set the mood, it quietly explains the entire journey of the characters. Most people hear it as a catchy intro, but if you pay attention to the words, it feels like a roadmap of how everything starts, grows, and eventually falls apart. The lyrics talk about ambition, survival, and the hunger to rise no matter the cost. That alone connects directly to the early life of James St. Patrick. Before he became powerful, he was just someone trying to build something bigger than his current life. The song reflects that mindset perfectly. It talks about wanting more, reaching higher, and stepping into a world where every choice has consequences. That kind of thinking doesn't just appear overnight, it develops over time. And that is exactly what Power Origins is expected to show in detail. There's also a deeper layer in how the song balances success with danger. It doesn't celebrate power in a simple way. Instead, it shows that power comes with pressure, enemies, and constant risk. This matches the tone of the entire Power universe, where every win comes with a cost. When you connect this idea to Origins, it suggests that the show will not just focus on how characters rise, but also on the early signs of the problems that will later destroy them. In other words, the fall begins at the same time as the rise. Another interesting detail is how the song feels timeless. It doesn't sound like it belongs to just one moment in the story. Instead, it feels like it could apply to every stage of the journey, beginning, middle, and end. That is very important because it means the message of the song can easily stretch across multiple seasons. If Power Origins really follows a long-term plan, then the theme song works as a constant reminder of where the story is heading, even when the characters don't realize it themselves. The emotional tone of the song also hints at internal conflict. It's not just about money or success, it's about identity, who you are, who you want to be, and what you are willing to sacrifice to get there. This is especially important for characters like Tommy Egan, whose journey is not just about power, but also about loyalty and trust. The song reflects that tension. It suggests that even from the beginning, there are cracks in relationships that will only grow bigger over time. When you place all of this into the context of Power origins, it starts to feel like the song has been hinting at this story for years. The rise, the struggle, the choices, and the consequences, it's all there. And if the story is meant to fully match what the song is describing, then it cannot be short or rushed. It needs time to show each phase properly. It needs space to let the characters grow, make mistakes, and face the results of those mistakes.